Hello and welcome to the TTI Distribution Download, the podcast where we talk about all things happening in the world of electronic components with the specialists of TTI. And now, your host for the TTI Distribution Download, Paula Renfrow.
Welcome to the TTI Distribution Download. In the studio today with us is Gabe Osorio, specialist of the TTI Transportation Business Unit. We like to call it the TBU. Joining us for this episode is TTI Optoelectronics specialist, Roland Chapa. Thanks for coming in.
Good to be here.
You want to kick us off today with a little bit of your journey through manufacturing, I know, and distribution and in the opto world.
Absolutely. So I'm the Technical Marketing Manager for the Optoelectronic products here at TTI. I've been on board for a little over 5 years. And I've been in the optoelectronics industry for really all of my professional career. I've been fortunate to have worked in the design, manufacturing, sales, and product management roles. And my varied background is what makes my current role at TTI so attractive. I get to use all of my skill sets when talking to customers about optoelectronics.
Yeah, thanks, Roland. And I would say it's certainly an exciting technology to be talking about, and thanks for being here. So Roland, as our resident, opto specialist and expert, can you tell us a little bit about the technology itself and why it's such a fast-growing area or technology?
Optoelectronics technology is growing exponentially, estimated to be $30 billion. This has given designers lots of options and flexibility with smaller, more efficient packages, infinite color combinations, and low power consumption. Optoelectronics are finding their way into new medical, industrial, and automotive products being designed today, accelerated even further by the electronic vehicles, utilizing more LEDs and sensors in every EV vehicle that's built. I also see adoption of this technology in the heavy equipment, ag, off-road, and marine markets.
Yeah, so really just about every transportation, subsegment or market that's out there, which is really exciting. And I know I've personally been able to sit in on some of your, presentations and trainings around the optoelectronic product. And it's really cool and exciting to see some of the applications where we're finding this product. What are some of those applications that you can tell us about?
So there's a lot of different applications that are going into the transportation. I think when I look at them, I break them down into like 3 different segments.
Sure. Branding,
safety, and then convenience. So starting out with the branding is, how are LEDs being used by these manufacturers to, differentiate, make their product stand out? And it's in the exterior lighting of the vehicles, interior lighting options. So they're using LED technology for very unique marker lights, brake lights, and illumination inside the cabin of the vehicle. So lots of LED uses.
I see mood lighting, certainly. I think if I get in my wife's car and you can, change the color of the lighting interior and what's happening with that. And then I also think you mentioned exterior lighting as well. And I think of the almost dynamic brake lights that you start to see, right, where it's, a right turn signal might come on and it's, 5 or 6 flashing different lights that in succession that are telling you, as opposed to just a standard one repetitive light or something like that, which is really neat to see as well.
So those are some of the approaches that I think the automotive space is taking and really personalizing that vehicle for their brand, which is really powerful.
Yeah,
right.
It's a differentiator without a doubt.
It makes them stand out.
Yeah, you mentioned safety. So what kind of applications from a safety perspective are you seeing?
So as vehicles get more technology integrated into them, we're seeing the headlights go to both LED and laser. The laser headlights are able to go out almost twice the distance as any HID or LED headlights, adding to the safety and the visibility that's out there to help protect passengers and the other drivers. Additionally, there's things like heads-up displays, which gives you real-time data on what's going on with the vehicle. You don't have to, look down or around to be able to access that data directly. And other things like occupant detection for deployment of the airbags. That's super critical to the automotive folks. And
so we're talking about that occupant detection, weight and such with sensors. Tell me, how does the Optoelectronics play into that?
So the infrared technology is embedded in the vehicle, and it's got sensors, LEDs and sensors working together to be able to detect when there's a person, the size of the person sitting in both the driver, passenger, or even in the rear seat area, so that it either allows or doesn't allow the airbags to deploy, or maybe other safety systems that are built into the car.
The sensors in connection with the IR.
Yeah, and I think about when you start to see a little bit more of the level of autonomy that's involved with some of the vehicles. I know you see, we've had conversations about the detection that happens of your eyes, right, and where your eyes are looking, and what that can kind of look like in the event of an accident or something along those lines.
A big push is for the drowsy driver detection, which is already incorporated into some vehicles. You get the steering wheel shake up a little bit to if your head is bobbing or your eyes look like they're going to sleep. So they're trying to nudge you right into a more awake situation so that you can safely operate the vehicle. And that's all using both infrared, LED, and laser technology.
Yeah, and I picture a lot of commercial vehicle application for that type of technology as well too, especially from a fleet owner or management of your vehicles and what your drivers are doing, and it gets a little dystopian probably at that point, but certainly something that's happening in the marketplace. So definitely interesting to see. And then I think you mentioned convenience as well too, and I think there's a lot that's happening obviously within the convenience. The level of displays that are happening within vehicles now, you're no longer. I mean, we've long since passed an automobile. It's become a computer on wheels, right? And watching those screens and displays unfold, from dynamic lighting in the roof of the car and on the side, it's pretty amazing to see. What can you tell us about some of those applications?
Yeah, more and more integration of the opto technology into the instrument clusters, the large screens in the center, which are going to either gesture
which
control
is super cool.
or non-contact, non-touching, and then also, color changing capabilities of the light. For white light specifically, they're not making it where it's tunable. So a map light will have a certain color temperature of white LED light, where things like the glove compartment or the vanity mirror, they're going to be adjusting to give you the best image based on the lighting conditions and the skin tones, etc.
Yeah.
And for people in the trucking business or pickup trucks, all the beds are now lit up with LED lights, so that you know what's in there, what's going on in a dark situation. So more and more of the interior and exterior of the trucks are getting lit up.
All of these components sound very advanced technically. What's the supply chain like for Optoelectronics? Is it a struggle like it might be for some of the other active components like chips and things like that we see, or is there a pretty good and probably because it's a growing segment, certainly a pretty good supply chain for the engineer and the customer out there that might be using these?
So I would say the supply chain is actually quite strong. LEDs is an emerging technology, but there's a lot of people that are already supplying in that space, a lot of manufacturers. We've been fortunate at TTI where, keeping inventory is one of our big goals. And as far as the optoelectronic LED sensors, lasers, we've been able to do a really good job of maintaining inventory levels to take care of our customers. The lead times are shrinking on the LED components, so we are ahead of the curve there.
Good.
And so that's good for TTI, good for our customers.
Yeah, strength in supply chain certainly makes it easier for the design of those components as well too. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, taking into account all of the, those different applications for the optoelectronics, when you think about where optoelectronics is headed, which is kind of crazy to think because there's already so many really cool applications and technologies for it. What is it that you see out there, and especially kind of out in the wild, so to say, or anything that might really kind of stop you in your tracks and say, wow, that's going to be a really cool application. Yeah.
I think one of the things I enjoy the most when I go visit customers and suppliers is all the innovation that is still occurring here in different aspects of the design process. But I think that a lot of the technology that's currently existing in our mobile phones or cell phones is going to be integrated into vehicles and other applications. Like
Interesting.
That.
So like a Face ID to start your car or something, or what do you mean?
Exactly.
Now that would be pretty cool. Yeah.
Voice recognition, 3D mapping.
Yeah.
Illuminated logos, which is another branding.
Mm-hmm.
How to differentiate. Your vehicle from somebody else. But even other things, there's work being done on smart glass, which will tint automatically with the glare of the sun.
Oh, cool.
So it makes it more comfortable in the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And then air quality in the vehicle, using UVC LEDs to actually sterilize viruses, bacteria, mold inside the car. So it keeps it clean, keeps it healthy. Think about that for, Uber drivers and other people that carry multiple
transit buses. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Anything like that.
A lot
Fascinating.
of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like a lot of really interesting, certainly a lot of interesting applications, which is pretty exciting. I know that's one of my, whenever we hear you talk about these applications, certainly one of the kind of cooler, really exciting technologies.
That's what gets you
kind of
excited.
the Wild West. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
You call it the Wild West.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think a lot of the things that you just, a lot of the benefits, the convenience benefits, especially, or the branding and the personalization, the people get excited about that, right?
Very innovative, right?
Yeah.
Who would have thought? But
you mentioned too the branding of logos, right? We've talked too about you drive down the street and you see like the Mercedes logo that's lit up, and I'm sure there's other manufacturers are going, but you recognize instantly, what that brand is and that manufacturer, and you can see it day or night, which is really powerful from a branding perspective, I'm sure, for all of these companies as well.
From a new, the way Gabe said it, what are you seeing in the Wild West and the applications? Is there a technology? Is there something happening in the technology that might not be so well known, that might not be available today, but we should be looking forward to?
So I think on the LED specific space, the packages are getting smaller and smaller, so that gives the designers more flexibility to put more LED functionalities and other things using less power, which is very attractive to the electronic vehicle market, and more efficient altogether. So I think that that industry is going to continue to innovate, come up with new products and technologies. OLED is an emerging technology that's being adopted now by the different market segments, and provides great contrast, visibility in daylight environments. So like I said, a lot of new technologies emerging there.
Well, thank you, gentlemen, very much for joining us today on the TTI Distribution Download, and thanks to our listeners for tuning in.
Thanks, Paula. Thanks, Roland.
Thank you.
If you'd like to read some more, these gentlemen are all subject matter expert contributors on MarketEye. So if you'd like to hear some more from them, it's tti.com/MarketEye. And we hope you'll choose to tune in to us again next time.
That's it for this episode of the TTI Distribution Download. For more information on any of the topics you heard about today, reach out to your nearby TTI branch at 1-800-CALL-TTI or visit us online at tti.com.